Welcome back. We're here for more movements of the spine videos. Today we are going to be focusing on the upper portion of the spine. So we're going to try and isolate all of that movement to up here. So basically just to where the ribs connect into the spine. We don't really want to bring the pelvis into this equation today. The one thing that we do want from the pelvis though is we want a nice neutral. So we want to feel like we're in that good neutral position, as you notice from the difference from this video and the last videos, and I'm seated up just a little bit higher. The reason is because this time I don't really want my hip flexors to be able to help or assist in any of this motion. So I'm seated up a little bit higher. I want my lower back to really just be keeping me in that neutral pelvis. From there, we're just going to move the upper portion of the spine, so nothing below the lower portion of the ribs should be moving and active during this exercise. So that said, we're going to come into our exercise, which is our spine stretch forward. With our spine stretch forward, what I want you to think is ab prep seated. So we're looking for the same motion as we were with our ab prep. And as we remember when we were doing our ab prep exercise, the position of our pelvis changed what type of motion we could get from the upper portion of our spine. So today, since we're going to be in neutral and we're not going to let our lower back go into this imprinted position, we're only going to be able to sort of shift those rib cages down. We're not going to be curling the spine. We are going to be getting some good flexion from the upper portion of the spine, but we're not curving and taking that lower spine backwards. We're keeping this in neutral the whole time. So that said, this is our exercise. Same thing as our ab prep. We're always looking to protect our neck, so we're going to get that slight chin nod. So again, I'm not jamming my chin into my throat, but I've actually got enough room to sort of keep my fist within that area as well. So from there, I've got my neck in a nice, safe, protected spot. I'm going to take a big inhale first. So the reason I take my inhale is because I want my ribs expanded. I want my ribs opened up because I want to feel like through this exercise, I'm getting taller. And as I get taller, I move through that motion of tallness. So I want you to feel like somebody is behind you, holding onto your rib cage. They're lifting you up. And then as we come into that flexion, we feel all of that motion happening from this area. The best way to do that on our own is by taking that big inhale, expanding the rib cage nice and wide. So that said, here's our exercise. We're going to take that inhale, slight chin nod. We're going to hold for that second, take another big inhale, fill up those rib cages, and then as we exhale, only moving from the lower portion of our spine, we're going to start taking our head downward, articulating our spine till we come to this position before our lower back starts opening up and falling backwards. We still want to stay in our neutral position, and then from here, we're going to inhale, articulating the spine back up to our neutral position. So again, inhale, spread those ribs nice and wide. Exhale. Start to take the head downward. Follow that motion as we still keep curling, curling, curling. Right at about this point here, I feel a really good stretch in my lower back. So I'm going to hold here for a sec. I'm going to take a couple of breaths. So as you probably noticed, I got a little bit deeper into this movement by just stopping and taking a couple of breaths. Really, really, really good way to get a little bit more engagement from our flexion. So as we learned on our exhales in our ab prep position, we have the ability to flex our spine a little bit better. From our inhale, we have the ability to extend our spine. So the reason I paused in that specific spot was because I started to feel a little bit of tightness through my back. And it was a good place for me to say, okay, I need to start focusing a little bit more movement through there. So from there, I just take a couple extra breaths. We don't have to be in a hurry to do any of these exercises. So this is one of the greatest things about what we're doing with all of this, is we're taking those times to refine those movements, and we're taking those times to really reflect on how our body's moving. The more focus, the more detail that we put into it, the slower we move through it, the better our spine is going to be for it. So again, through any of these exercises, don't focus as much on the breathing pattern as much as the movement. But I want you to keep the movement in line with the breathing pattern. So the exhales into our flexions, our extensions with our inhales. So let's go ahead and go into that exercise again. We're going to do this together now. I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to breathe and go through it. So first thing, stacked up in our neutral position. We always want to have that nice chin nod. So we want to protect our cervical spine in this position. We want to feel that we've got a little bit of length through the back of our neck. So that said, we inhale, spread those ribs. Exhale, we start to flex. So as you probably noticed, there was a couple of times where I stopped to get my breath to a little bit deeper of movement. That is always totally acceptable. Anytime that we need to find that movement, take that time, focus on your breath, focus on your body just releasing into those positions. I wasn't feeling that I was pulling myself down. I was just sort of feeling my body settle a little bit more. Through that, I got a greater connection through my abdominal muscles to start folding me and pulling me a little bit more. I allowed gravity to assist. My lower back muscles on that exhale also had the chance to release a little bit. So as they release, I just sort of fell into that position a little bit more. It's exactly what you're going to find as well. So taking that time to slow our movement down is always beneficial. The other thing that I want you to sort of reflect on in that is that, again, my lower pelvis, my lower back was not moving out of my neutral position. I stayed in neutral the whole time. Even though it was tough to get down further, if I don't have that movement, it's no benefit to me to roll out my pelvis into my give position, essentially. So even if you're only going this far and coming back up, so much more beneficial than coming down here, opening that pelvis and just falling down. So refining the movement to just the upper portion of the spine is exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for that nice chin nod to keep the cervical spine protected. I wasn't jamming my head down and going down in this position. This is never where you want to be. You want to feel a nice looseness on the front side of the neck. You want to feel the back portion of the neck sort of pulling outward and just sort of relaxing in this position. So I'm not jamming anything down. My head is just coming with me. So there's no direction being pulled into from my head. I'm not asking for my neck to do this exercise. I'm only asking for this portion of my spine. So right here, that's the whole area we're looking for movement from. I really appreciate you being with me today. This is our exercise, and I am really enjoying doing these. Give me your feedback. Give me your comments if you would like. This is something that I really enjoy doing, and I just want people to feel the same benefits of doing these exercises as I've felt. So please comment, give me your feedback. I'd love to hear what you have to say, hear what you think about these exercises, and I will talk to you later. I appreciate you being here. Thanks.